I want to share a little story about how I burned myself out, because it's not the normal narrative, I worked too hard or I didn't rest enough. The way that I burn myself out most commonly is different, and it's just interesting to share and see if anybody can relate. So I was on my morning jog and I just got filled with inspiration, like non-stop, like the best epiphany you ever had kind of inspiration for upcoming future content. Just like all of the dots started to connect, and when that happens in my mind, I forget about my body completely. So I ended up jogging like an extra 10 minutes. It was a 20-minute jog, and I caught myself jogging faster, and like just the elevation in my mind translates into my physical body. So I was in this elevated state, like this euphoric inspired state, where I just felt like so full, so whole, and like the words are like invincible or like unstoppable, and just like somebody might say, I don't want to say that actually, but it's just what happens. And I get into these states, and I've talked about elevation before, and I'm not sure if people really understand what I'm talking about, and this is the consequence as well, because there's a price to pay for overworking your body and your mind. But when it happens to me in a really powerful way, it doesn't feel like it costs anything. It doesn't feel like there's any, like, even it doesn't even feel like I'm burning calories. Like, for instance, like, it doesn't feel like my muscles are tiring. It doesn't feel like anything. Like, I'm so in the inspiration that it's like invincibility mode, in a video game. You pick up the invincibility, and then you just have this like that's what happens. And I'm just in this like flow state that feels so incredible, to the point where I would absolutely use the term addictive, and anybody who's had anything remotely close to it would agree. And I never want to not have it. Like, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I've just got to be more mindful when I do have it, that I've had it, and like I need to like consciously make extra time for rest and recovery, because it doesn't feel like I need rest. It actually feels the opposite. And in the past, when I didn't understand how balance works or anything, I would just keep my foot on the accelerator I would try to hold on to that feeling as long as possible, and like keep going deeper and deeper into it, which leads to all kinds of profound but also detrimental experiences. And yeah, it's thrilling, and even talking about it, I get a rush, like an echo of that experience. Like, it's just one of the best things in the world to truly get in that inspired state. So these days it's not as detrimental, because I direct those moments, like I'm ready for them. I seize that moment, and I put all of the energy that's coming through into something that's meaningful. But when I used to be, like back in my youth, like taking drugs, drinking alcohol, even like, yeah, just all of the silly things that I was doing, if that state came over me, usually it would be directed towards something destructive. And it would probably be pretty interesting for like somebody who knew me way back then, but I don't have much connection to anybody from the past, to tell you like a story of like when I was in that state, and like the kinds of things that I would do. I've got video content of it actually, and just the ways that that would evolve like, and the kinds of, I wasn't a normal kid. I wasn't a normal teenager. I wasn't a normal, like, early 20s, like, and it was really frustrating for people around me because it was harmful. But now, yeah, like, I'm trying to say that I do something constructive with it, and that part's great. Like, I got inspired, and I focused all of that energy into, like, upcoming video content, and all the dots connected, and I had the best ideas, and I felt like this is gonna happen. And part of the reason why I used to hold on to the feeling and not want to let it go is because I thought that I had to. Like, if I have all these ideas about upcoming content while I'm in that state, it's like, how am I going to produce this stuff if I don't maintain this state? So I'd be like, I've got to stay in this state for, like, the next 3 days and write, storyboard, produce, and edit, like, finish an entire video project start to finish, without losing this feeling. And that's really detrimental. That's like, you don't sleep, you used to drink like 5 energy drinks in an afternoon, like 5 of the big ones, and just anything to maintain that, and it was really unhealthy. But now I don't even need to hold on to it, because I know, like, the inspiration that is coming through, it's available. Like, if it's there in that moment, then it means it's going to be available when I go to take action on this idea. Maybe I won't be in such an elevated state, but I also have come to learn that being in the totally elevated state isn't necessarily the best way to record the content. Maybe it's the best way to imagine it, because I get really inspired and it motivates me to actually make something. But if I'm too elevated in the moment, then it might just come across as insane. Because it makes sense in my awareness, right? That's probably another thing. But if you could somehow have an inside look into my thought processes, if it could be projected onto a screen while I'm in that state, it would look like absurdity and chaos. Like, it wouldn't look like it makes sense, really. Because it's like, I know how all these dots are connecting, but it would just be like fleeting thoughts and fleeting, like, memories, all like this and that and this and that, and this is how it all goes together, and it would only make sense to me. And I can't articulate that live. Like, I couldn't do a video journal when I'm in that peak state, because it would just be all over the place. There would be no central point of focus. It would just be this and then that and then this and then that and then this and that. And it might be interesting to watch, and you might be able to have your own observations and insights, and it might trigger off a whole bunch of stuff and be interesting, but it wouldn't be what I intended it to be. Like, when I watched it back, I would be like, oh, this is just not for other people. But yeah, like, I'm okay. I got a little bit sick, like a little bit run down, just like a head cold, and just took the day to relax and eat a bunch of fruit and not do too much, like get my stress levels right down, like, don't take anything on. It's gonna be difficult, even emotionally, just relax. But yeah, also, I've been on a bit of a holiday from the journals. I've dropped in a couple of times, but I haven't been uploading them or anything. I've just been kind of taking the pressure off myself to a whole new level. And one of the things that I realized is, like, it's better to see each other like this less. Like, I feel like I have more to tell you, and I can actually focus on something that's, like, more interesting. Like, out of the last 2 weeks, what stands out to me is that experience that I had where I was jogging and I just got in that elevated state. And I've thought about it a fair bit before I've actually hit record as well. I can't guarantee anything for the future of content. Like, as far as my social media goes, I'm not even interested in social media anymore. It's just like the weird thing that I would say is like I'm kind of starting to think of myself as like a normal person. Like I've let go of all of the like you've got to publish X amount of content to keep the algorithm working in your favor or any of that stuff. I don't care. Like I've fully let go of all of the social media programming, and I'm just like, I'll post a picture on Instagram when I feel like it, or I'll record a video when inspiration comes. And I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about the time of the day shit. Like any of the things that we're supposed to do if you want to be a successful content creator. It's all, I've let go of all of that. And the main reason being because like I was focusing on it because I thought that was going to be my path to my personal success. I thought I was going to make a living from content creation. But over the years I've been doing less and less video and photography clients. I have pretty much no video and photography clients anymore. And I've been doing more and more like well-being related stuff, spending time with people, sharing time with people, and really getting into understanding the depth of what it means to be a human. And that purpose has just completely swallowed up anything inside of me that was wanting to, you know, be a YouTuber. I never wanted to be a YouTuber. Like I always kind of felt like that was not a goal worth aspiring to. But I saw YouTube as like a tool to promote like or to build community so that we could have more energy to focus towards things that are important. But the more that I learn, the more that I just think like, why should like I be the one telling anybody anything? Because like the core message or the core learning out of everything over the course of a lifetime really has been that everybody's experience is unique, and we need to be responsible for our own journey and our own choices in life. So I don't really subscribe to the idea of one person having any kind of answers, although I do. It's nuanced because I understand that by me sharing my experiences, it helps people reflect more deeply and all of that. Like we go around in circles. I go around in circles thinking of that all the time. I want to keep the journals going, but my motivation has shifted a lot. It's more real again. I feel like I've just been peeling away these layers, and I'm getting really close to the core now, and I'm feeling more vulnerable. But at the same time, as I've peeled away so many layers of like self-deception and old stories and everything, I do feel more vulnerable in one way, but the vulnerability doesn't feel vulnerable anymore. Does that make sense? Like, because I've peeled away so many of these layers, I know it's going to be okay. Like, I'm not scared of going deeper into the truth of who I am, or being more transparent so people can really see where I am and what I'm going through, see my pain or see my challenges, or see me just questioning everything and not having a clue what I'm doing. Like, I'm okay with all that stuff. I guess I've been vulnerable in all of these ways enough times that it's no longer scary, but there's new ways to be vulnerable and share, but maybe not many more ways to do it on a camera. Like, it's more the interpersonal stuff, being truly present with another being in the moment, stuff that, you know, we can't do here. But we'll see what emerges, we'll see what evolves, because one thing that happens is like I go, okay, like this doesn't feel like evolution to me anymore, just doing a journal every day or something. So I'm like, okay, how can we make it feel like evolution again? Where's the growth? What would be more challenging? And I have a bunch of ideas and things. But like I said, even in that, like I'm giving myself the time and space to wait and see. I don't feel any pressure to continue to produce anything in particular anymore. I'm just gonna cruise along and be. If you get anything out of these video journals, please share them with anybody you know who may benefit. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave your comments down below. I'll see you again very shortly.